During the summer of 2023, we moved to a remote Scottish Hebridean island to be its only two residents, along with our two pet sheep and pair of cats. These remote islands seem to retain an old-fashioned rhythm and a charm which we find encouraging us to live a more frugal and simple life, the way man was perhaps more intended to. We have an ancient stone cottage to restore, veggies to grow, livestock to build up, fish to catch and smoke, a boat to buy, and much more. Step back in time with us at the Scottish Isle.
Where we're going?
You're going to show me where you think this cairn is, if we can get through the emerging bracken.
Yeah, it might be difficult, but obviously we're just going to walk back along the old path, and I'll show you it. I want to have a closer look at it, and you can give your expert time team opinion.
Expert opinion, yes.
But what else are we doing?
Going to grab the post.
And some petrol for the strimmer.
Aye, well, that's on you. I'm not strimming nothing. Come and have a look at this new arrival we have to the island. Well, an old arrival of a fixed thing that was broken. Something that the owners have collected over on Skye this week. Little hopping boat. I think it's just the family's boat. I think it was getting serviced. Certainly the engine was getting serviced. We don't have the permission to use this boat. But we just thought it'd be interesting for you to see it. Would you go out fishing with me in this?
Oh,
If we got one of these?
I just have visions of Jaws.
We've just been picking up the post and we received this gift from Jeff, who's a painter and decorator, so he obviously knows his brushes. They'll come in handy, won't they?
Jeff.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeff.
How lush does it look?
Why have you sent me out into the tick-infested
Because I don't want to get
island?
more ticks. Look at these all. These are about to bloom. These are all iris. Yellow iris.
Hang on, you sent me out here, yeah, specifically to talk about the iris. You said, do your best David Bellamy impression.
Well, do it.
Yeah, and you end up talking about them. I could have stayed in the car.
Do your David Bellamy.
I can't do a David Bellamy impression.
Can you do any impressions? What are you useful for?
Let me think. No. There's a burn here, look.
We'll bring you back here when these bloom, which is going to be any day now, I reckon. But I would like the front of the cottage to look like this. So might be digging up some of these actually and transplanting them.
Well,
look at an Englishman among the iris.
There are, a lot of these growing now outside the front of the cabin where all the rushes have been cut down.
Mm-hmm.
There's my impression. You're watching?
Gladiator, stolen from
Dances of Wolves.
That's right. Don't trample the ivy, the iris.
You don't even know. You don't even know what it is. You're not going to get how spectacular that looks in 3D. Can we do a 3D episode?
We'll have to give everybody 3D glasses.
Yeah, we'll have to send them to them.
I don't want any straight lines here. I want it to look natural as possible. Right. Soil. I don't know if I've been a bit over enthusiastic here. Hot day. Come on. I've just cut all this plastic membrane off the wall, the wooden wall here. Look how much damp it's been holding against the wood rather than keeping it out. I guess because it wasn't sealed along the top edge, maybe it, well, just when it rains it can't evaporate obviously, but I'm just going to lay some stones along this membrane that's still visible so we can't see it anymore. And this is grass seed. Think how nice it's going to look when we replace all of these slabs, how natural it'll look. Replace them with flagstones, oh for goodness sake. What a day.
It's a scorcher, isn't it?
I picked the wrong day to do gardening.
So you've sown it with grass seed here. What lovely flowers have you put in the flower garden?
I can't read any of that. I don't have little glasses. There'll be sunflowers and cornflowers.
Field poppy, Californian poppy, cornflower, corncockle, bird's foot.
How can you see that?
Blue lupin, love in a mist, dwarf morning glory, baby's breech, sunflower, purple tansy, not pansy, tansy, and so on and so forth. I can read it because, you know, I'm not, you know what it's like? It's about a lack of sunlight, isn't it? It's like getting in. So when it's really bright, I can read things. I mean, like, I can read that perfectly now, but take it in there, you've got no chance.
Obviously, we'll do the same on the other side. When these slabs come out, well, you can, if you stand back now, you can see how natural it's going to look, how organic, rather than I am man, I live here, I must urbanise.
You could have taken all these bits of wood shavings out.
It's natural matter, it'll rot down.
Natural wood shavings.
I've just plonked these stones along the side of the house to hide that ugly membrane that's sticking out. But yeah, it was holding moisture against the house.
I have nothing to say about that.
Okay.
Because I'll probably get into trouble if I say anything. Well, this is coming up eventually when we figured out. So this L of, and we'll keep all these because obviously they came in handy. They'll come in handy, won't they?
But have you stalled?
Well, I'm just thinking, are we going to mirror this?
Mm-hmm. Just a little path winding its way up to the front door. We don't need sharp angles and right edges and.
So coming all the way down here.
Yeah.
Up there. Well, if you want to get looking for some of those big heavy stones, I'll film you.
I'm all right actually. I've done some stone lugging today.
I don't mind filming you. I've got a bit of a free time.
Well, I'm going to go in and have a cup of tea and a yum yum.
What's a yum yum?
Iced donut. Because I can.
Do you know what I'm going to do?
What?
Finishing editing this episode.
Sure now.
Dr. Martin's boots. You get kicked anybody's head in yet?
You find yourself amusing?
The people out there will know what that was.
Second hand from eBay. They come from London, they did.
Or from that there London?
That there London, all the way to the Scottish Isles.
Oh, imagine they've been walking around London.
I said to the lady who sold them that they're going to an island with no roads. And she said, I can only dream of that. I live on a really busy street in the middle of London. Yeah.
Yes, but everybody can achieve it. All they've got to do is put their mind to it.
It's rude to point.
But it's true though, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it took us 3 years of searching.
Yep. I would say longer, but yeah.
To find this.
Yep.
Lots of closed doors, but it came at exactly the right moment. Exactly perfect timing.
Well, we went through that period of not understanding why we were here.
Why we were where we were.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Why are we being kept in this place when all we want to do is leave? And it did feel like a prison sentence. I mean, we lived in a beautiful place, but when you want to go, you want to go. And there were very definite reasons for us to leave. But we just couldn't get out, could we? Everywhere we tried to get to. We tried numerous times to move to Northumberland, didn't we, on the west coast? Sorry, east coast.
It was an unvoiced prayer from my heart to live in this part of the world, because you always wanted to be by the sea and I wanted to be in the mountains, and this is the only place in the UK with both. And now here we are. I've always loved the west coast.
So the moral of the tale is don't give up. Just keep going, because because eventually you never know what's around the corner. And we couldn't even dream of this, could we? Anyway.
I didn't know anywhere like this existed in Scotland, this
No.
rainforest environment. It's incredible.
Where are we going? What are we doing?
You're
Stop
dragging me.
waffling.
You're dragging me through the bracken, the emerging bracken,
So
to see a lump of stones.
what we're going to do is
There's lumps of it round the back.
that cairn that I thought, well, look, I want to keep reiterating this. It's 90% chance it's not, yeah? However, it is very suspicious.
It's an anomaly.
An anomaly. So therefore, we're going to go and check it out. But the way that we're going to go and check it out is via the old path. Now, we're not going to show you that.
We are.
Well, no, we're not. Well, I was waiting for you to say, because we don't want to be repetitive.
Gonna have to replace this gate.
This gate is a death trap.
Got a midge bite on my shoulder.
Already?
Nah, it was there this morning.
That's sad, isn't it? I always see the slow worms coming across here when I'm on the quad.
As an ex-slow worm, it has shuffled off this mortal coil. The old boundary wall. So this is the exact path that's on the old maps, coming along the edge of this boundary wall all the way down to the cottage. It's like, it's quite evocative, isn't it? Stepping in the footsteps of former residents.
It's a very old pathway. And
Like stepping back in time.
Look at all this. Now, those of you that have seen the episode from about 3 weeks ago,
Wasn't here at all.
none of this was here. None of this fern. It was completely flat.
It's, but you can see it in the landscape everywhere. If you see how green everything all of a sudden is, that's all the bracken coming out, and the trees, of course. But it's gone from being brown to really lush.
Well, unfortunately, we don't want to be standing still for too long.
No.
So, off we go. It's the first time you've been up here, isn't it?
Mhm.
What do you think?
Well, you can see the mark of the path, because there's the little wall here and the boundary wall there, so we are right on it now. And you know, I can see where we are in relation to the cottage. It's much quicker than going all the way around like we do now.
It's a much quicker route, but it's just that boggy bit going through the wood.
Nice that the bluebells are still hanging on. Not for much longer if this bracken's got anything to do with it. It's a scourge, this stuff.
Oh, you're coming up here with a strimmer, aren't you?
Yeah, right.
From when I was up here, the terrain just looks so different. I mean, so different that I don't even know where I'm going at the minute. I know that may sound bizarre, but it was like, it's up this way, but I'm not sure if it was over that way. I doubt we're going to be able to see it. The supposed cairn.
Yeah, I don't know where you're going.
Follow me. This is mad. It really is. You're not going to be able to see anything.
It's proper jungle.
We're going to have to come back like in the fall. This is going to be a November, December job. I'll tell you what you do get though. You do get a much better view of the mound. You're not going to see it in 2D, but you see what I mean, in 3D.
Yeah, I do.
And all these on it makes it in some way more defined, but you're not going to see that through this. But if you see, look, I'm going to walk round where all the circle of stones are.
Yeah, I can see it.
Circle of stones goes round here like this. And then you've got this mound. And like I said before, I mean, yeah, okay, there's a possibility that they could have rolled from the banks, but all rolled into a circle and a mound.
It's an interesting spot too, isn't it? It is very much.
Well, it's open. There are no trees. There are trees, the birch and oak surrounding it completely.
It's a natural clearing.
Yeah, and you can see the indentations in the earth. I mean, it looks like a bank coming around here. I know we're probably seeing what we want to see, but there's another bank here. There's an actual pathway through here, and this leads down to the cottage. So you've basically got this pathway coming up here. You've got two banks going around it, and there's a ditch around it. You've got a mound in the middle.
The only thing I'm thinking is if they cleared it to grow on it, but I don't see any lazy beds. It's rather perfect, the circle as well, isn't it?
Yep.
If I go into the middle of it,
Yeah.
you can see that it's a mound. How are we going to know without digging?
We're not going to dig. Well, we're going to remove the topsoil. If that's a pile of stones, that's all we need to know. Because they've been placed there by somebody a very, very, very long time ago. And it will be amazing if it is. But I am hyper cautious because you know what I'm like. It's just the romance of archaeology for me.
It's not on any OS maps or anything like that, but why would it be? We're on a tiny island in the middle of nowhere.
Who's going to come up here?
Curiouser and curiouser. It's obviously just to keep the sheep off the newly planted seeds, which I only planted how many days ago? A few days ago, 3. Look, all coming up already. Here. So these need some water. It's warm weather, isn't it?
It's been really warm the last, 3 days?
Yep. So, yes, this is just a sheep barrier.
This is the kind of weather we had when we first came here.
Yep. It's almost a year now.
Mad.
How?
Wow.
How is it physically possible?
I know we've been very busy, but still.
Do you think this is actually going to keep them out?
Yes.
Okay. I don't understand how this does this. How is it possible that it can get tangled?
I've got no answer.
Again, look. I don't have the physics to understand that. Or is it?
See, I'd have thought your ranching skills would have been like up there because of your experience in Canada.
Oh, Shona's wanting to come out now. There's like a what do we call it? Slinky. They can play with that. Shona's buying. Shona! Here. Come on then. Come on and show us if our fence works, Shona.
Well, yeah, it's not going to keep the lamb out. What, Chip?
Come on then. She's going to go under it, isn't she? There, what do you make of a fence? Well, I'll get some water. She's been eating soil, which is good. It helps her rumen develop. Sorry, Shona. And she's also eating a wee bit of hard food as well, which was well earlier than Bree
Oh
ever
yeah,
did.
months and months earlier than Bree did.
Well, there's tons of sprouts coming up here. But then that hasn't been trampled by
Sheep feet. Or hooves, as they call them.
I'm interested to see what comes up here.
I can't believe that they've started growing already.
Yeah, it's literally days.
Well, we know that this is a heat trap because of the flower garden that was here before. And those flowers were still blooming in November.
That's true. So it'll be a good growing season for a wee wildflower bed there. So here's Shona behind the fence, defiantly chewing one of the plastic hingy things. Shona, how are you going to get out, Shona?
She's scratching her head on it.
Oh well, it's good for something anyway.
Notice all the cats are here because like, the little terror is not. She's currently on a chair in the kitchen. So the cats have joined us.
She has an armchair that she sits in all day.
It's funny.
She saw her shadow last night for the first time. She stood up on the armchair and the sun was shining in the window behind her, and she was fascinated with this little goblin-looking creature on the wall looking back at her.
The silhouette of a little lamb, wasn't it? So it was like, she was like, hey.
These were all gifts.
Yeah, we're going to share the sheep tomorrow.
I've used these once before. I've had similar type to that before. But we had another gift that arrived today as well.
Well, we personally have only ever hand shared them with these. I mean,
good old-fashioned. I've used electric clippers once in our last house when some shearers came by to shear the farmers' sheep in the fields next to the house. Went up and chatted to them and had a go.
Well, we've paid people to come and share the sheep, haven't we? But they always end up bruising and cutting the sheep, don't they? Because the thing is this: you get the guys to come in to do it when they're out in the fields, shearing all the other sheep, and to those guys, these sheep are just another 2 sheep to shear, and they're not looked upon as pets. And it doesn't matter how much you try to instill in them that these are mollycoddled sheep. They're not used to being thrown around and manhandled in the way that the sheep in the field are. Well, I'd always get out of the way, wouldn't I? I couldn't watch them shearing them in that way, because it's just, it just angered me. But anyway, these were gifts, yeah? Were both of these gifts? Mm-hmm. From our Amazon wish list. However, the other day...
Today.
Was it today? They only arrived today? Jane gifted us these. And we're like, I'm just like gobsmacked. These are top of the range, handheld, battery operated sheep shears. We haven't tried them yet, but they'll be charged up tonight for tomorrow. You
have to look at something. Look. What is he looking at?
He's looking at the instructions.
You have to look at the instructions.
You've got to read the instructions before you start.
That's a man's tool then, if ever I've seen one, isn't it? Guys, just read the instructions.
Yeah. I'm the world's worst. I never read them.
So, because these can be, you can really cut the sheep up if you don't know what you're doing. I'm used to, from my years of veterinary, I'm more than used to shaving animals. So what we're going to do is use these to get the bulk of the wool off their backs, their sides, their butts, their flanks, and then do the fiddly bits with the hand shears.
It's kind of around the haunches, isn't it? Where the skin is.
Tummies.
So you'll see all that in Sunday's episode. It'll be
all going according to plan.
But yeah, Jane, we honestly we can't. I don't know what to say. It's the generosity of strangers.
It's
they're a game changer from our point of view, because when you can imagine when you're doing the sheep with these, how long does it take? Hours and hours and hours to do it.
And sometimes we have to go back to it another day.
Yeah,
because it does get you in the forearms.
Whereas this, like you say, the bulk of the wool is going to be off within seconds, minutes.
And that means also that there's more usable wool for me. Yeah.
Someone started crying for company, so she had to be fetched.
You're right. She doesn't fit on my knee anymore.
So I was standing talking to you, wasn't I? Jeeves came and did his usual rubbing himself around your legs. And I looked down and I found this. I'm going to see if this won't autofocus, but we'll give it a go. Very old chain link.
What are you going to use it for? Are you going to make a wind chime?
No,
Dream catcher?
well, look, it's either very old.
You with a dream catcher.
I used to make dream catchers.
What?
The fact that you even believe that for a second is fun. It's either, well, it is very old chain link, yeah? Stop laughing. Or it's a giant's chain mail.
It's very old. It's cool to find it in the ground. It's not very useful though.
No, but
Just going to add it to the pile of
yeah, of
useless
course. We're going to have
artefacts.
our own museum. So people keep saying you can make a fortune if you have a tea room with the kayakers. Well, first is the museum, the Scottish Isle Museum
Where you going
of Amazing Finds of National Importance. It's a long title, but
TSIMOA.
something like that. That's cool. I mean, what, you know, who made that? That's handmade chain. I know most chain is handmade, but you know what I mean? It's like, and it's really old.
It looks, it almost looks like a shoe buckle shaped.
Yeah, it does.
Georgian shoe buckle.
I mean, is it been hammered flat, or is that just the wear from all the years? Because this is several hundred years old. This. For me, that's the best thing that I've found, and it was just there at my foot. And again, we have been told multiple times, there's no point in metal detecting here because it's been done. Yep, this stuff is just lying on the ground with my spoon. So yes, it's going to go with my spoon. But that's
We
cool.
need to get you a glass case for all of your priceless items.
Well, I'm having a museum, so we're going to have to build another structure. Oh, hey up.
You're off. You're building a museum, okay?
Yeah. Well, you've got to get the stuff first, haven't you? Because then we're going to know how big to build it.
You know you can't charge people for admittance in museums in Scotland.
We're not having a museum.
Fickle man.
Changed my mind.